Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday master class. I'm super excited this week. We have Wyra, which I'm super excited because he used to be a client of ours. And back when I was an account manager, was his account manager. So this is super fun for me. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just getting this pulled up. Okay. So Wyra it's Roof X, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We used to have a marketing agency for roofers and home service contractors.
Yeah. Yeah. And so used to be with Jill's office and now he's into the home financing. So we're going to be talking about some super awesome stuff I'm excited for. Let's see here. Before we dive too deep, how did you get into what you're doing now, Wyra?
Oh gosh. Back in 2014, came across this thing called online marketing and generating leads on Facebook, on Google, and thought, hey, what a cool idea to learn how to help businesses grow through digital marketing and technology. And so kind of dove in and learned everything that I could for a few years, and then eventually started the agency. So mostly self-taught, a lot of buying courses and YouTube videos and trial and error.
That's awesome. Everything's on YouTube nowadays. I feel like you could learn
Yeah, pretty
anything.
much.
Maybe not become master of it, but you can learn
Yeah,
anything on YouTube nowadays.
yeah. That's
That's
it.
awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm super excited for this today. So Wyra is the CEO at Home Service Financing, like I just mentioned, which is a financing platform that specializes in helping home service contractors. So basically everyone that's on here, close more jobs and earn more profit through their robust network and more than 300 lenders. So that's super awesome. Wyra has been in the online business space for 7 years, and in that time, his team has helped more than 500 home service contractors and other clients generate more than 100 million in additional revenue for their business, which is huge. So that's super awesome. He also is a digital nomad who spends most of his time exploring Latin America, which I think that's so cool. I've never been, but that's on my bucket list.
Yeah, currently in the co-working space in Medellin, Colombia.
Really? I actually had no idea. That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I think it's so fun. I'm going quite a few places next year that I'm going to check off my bucket list. The one I'm most excited for though is Italy. That one's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, that'll
Yeah.
be great. Haven't made it to Europe yet. I'm thinking next year too. Or we'll
Well, I've
overlap.
never made it to Latin America, so maybe one day. That's super awesome. Awesome. Well, we will go ahead and get started. I'll turn the time over to you now. Wyra today is going to be talking to us about how to close an extra 100,000 in sales in 90 days. And the best part is it's without any extra marketing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We got something called the 100K challenge, 100K in 90 days challenge, which I'll talk about in just a second here, but I'm going to share my screen, show you guys my beautiful slide deck that my team and I spent much time on. All right, guys, so the name of today's masterclass, as Kayla mentioned, is how to close an extra 100K in 90 days without spending an extra penny on marketing. Who would like that? More revenue without any additional spend. So Kaylin covered the cliff notes on me, but I started an online business and marketing in 2014, worked with over 500 clients, generated well over 100 million in revenue, mostly in the home services space. And we've generated over 200,000 leads and appointments for our clients. So we've learned a thing or two about home services in the last 7 years. And really, after generating thousands of leads for our contractors, the biggest issue that we've seen time and time again for most home service companies is their biggest gap to growing their revenue and to getting the growth that they're looking for is not actually the marketing. It's not actually the leads or the appointments. It's most of the time it's sales. It's getting that homeowner to close the deal, and being able to afford the services and financing is a really big part of that. So we've seen these contractors, these companies going from marketing company to marketing company to marketing company, buying lots of leads, but not actually turning those leads into sales and ROI for their business. And that's frustrating for the marketing company. It's frustrating for the contractor because they're spending all this money and not getting a return. So that's one of the biggest issues that we've seen in the industry so far. So what you'll get out of today's masterclass is you're going to understand, number one, why you're losing big money by not offering financing or by offering what we call old school financing. You're gonna have complete clarity on why not all financing programs are created equal. And I'm gonna give you some tips, some questions to ask to go out and find the best financing program for your business, should you decide to do so. And then we're gonna talk about the sales strategy that our most successful contractors and customers use to close deals, to increase their margin, and grow their business with financing. So I promise you, if you stick around and use this strategy, we'll close deals. And then we've got a special offer as well for anybody that sticks around right till the end. Cool. So did you know that the average household in the United States actually has less than $20,000 in their savings account at this very moment? And that a recent study found that about half of all Americans have less than $250 left over after paying all their expenses like their rent, their food, car, phone, less than $250 left over at the end of the month. And that in the last 12 months alone, consumer prices for things like fuel, food, utilities, transportation have actually increased by 9% in the last 12 months, which is actually the highest increase that we've seen since the 1980s. So we're seeing all these trends, and the question I want to ask to any contractors, I kind of like my memes, by the way, so I'm sorry if you don't like memes, we got a few of them in here. A question I want to ask is, okay, with prices and interest rates increasing, how do you think your customers' spending and the ability to pay for your services might be affected in the coming years? I know there's obviously a lot of talk, people talking about recession and all that. I don't want to get into that, but what we are seeing on the financing side is that the last couple of years, especially since COVID, is that consumer spending habits have changed, and really want to ask contractors the question of like, how has that affected how your customers buy from you, and how do you think that will continue to affect how your customers buy from you in the coming months and coming years? All right. So when you don't offer financing, these are the facts. Okay, this is what we've seen from working with hundreds of contractors, generating thousands and thousands of homeowner leads. When you don't offer financing, number one, homeowners have less options and less flexibility to purchase from you. It's either cash up front, insurance, or nothing, right? Maybe they'll put it on a credit card with some ridiculous interest rate. Homeowners are more likely to price shop and compare quotes. That's one of the most frustrating things as a contractor. You know that you have incredible quality, great service, and you make a quote, or you may give somebody an estimate, and they tell you, yeah, I'm going to go and get some other quotes. I'm going to go, and they take the cheapest quote, right? It's so frustrating. If you're not offering financing, you're not standing out from your competitors who are also not offering financing, many of them. You're also less likely to upsell your customers, right? This is a big thing for a lot of, let's say, roofers, for example, or even HVAC contractors. Why just a roof? Does that homeowner need perhaps gutters as well? Do they need their fascia, soffit, these kinds of things looked at? Are there opportunities for you to actually increase your revenue with that customer? You're more likely to hear price objections, and I can't afford it. And I can say this with absolute certainty now, because we have the data, that you will close fewer sales than your competitors who do offer easy financing to their customers. So the cost, what's the cost? So on the data that we've looked at, we estimate that it costs the average home service business, depending on size, of course, between about $250,000 to $1 million or more per year in lost revenue by not offering financing. That's just missing revenue, missing sales, missing margin, missing profit that you could have gotten by offering financing. That's a lot of missed opportunity.
I think that's huge, because we talk at Jill's office, or I'm kind of chiming in. We talk at Jill's office all the time about like, there's a book called The Slight Edge. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a great book for those of you that haven't. But it's just like the little things. So like what you're talking about, it's as simple as offering another option. Like it's not even that big of a deal. And it's giving you that much more of a benefit, that much more of a revenue. Whereas if you're not doing that, you're losing that. So that's just a huge thing that we don't realize. 100%. It's the tiniest thing that makes the biggest difference.
100%, and compounded over time, right? Because you might be sending out, if you're a small shop, maybe 5, 10, 20 estimates a month. If you're a big shop, you might be sending out dozens or hundreds of estimates per month. And that loss compounded over time really adds up.
Yeah, gets big.
Yeah. Cool. Feel free to chime in anytime. Appreciate it. And if anybody has any comments or questions as I go as well, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and Kaylin will let me know. We can do a Q&A as we go. All right, so the good news, Okay, so there's a study done by a company called Forrester Consulting, and they studied in great detail companies that offer financing, companies that don't. And what they found was when companies started offering financing, that they on average saw a 32% increase in their sales and a 75% increase in their average sale value. Now, this is not specific to just home services. This is across a multitude of different industries. But I want you to think about that for a second. Like, what would a 32% increase in your sales from the same marketing, the same number of leads, the same business you have right now with making this one small tweak, 32% increase, what would that do for your business? And then I think even the bigger side is like, if you're looking at almost doubling your average deal value, that is significant. So there's some opportunity here for huge gains for companies that want to consider offering financing for their customers. So let's talk a little bit about financing, because when we say financing, it's kind of a big umbrella. There's a lot of different types of financing, ways that you can go about getting financing. Some people on this call probably have tried financing in the past, or they've heard about it. Maybe they've had good experiences, maybe they've had bad. So let's talk a little bit about how old school financing used to work. And this is kind of the way that it worked for many, many years. You'd have one single lender, usually like a bank or a credit union, or they'd have maybe a financing platform, and it would be a collection of banks, maybe 3 or 5 or 10 banks, and they would all pool together, and they all have similar criteria for what they're looking for to qualify a homeowner. Typically, very high credit score, very low debt to income ratio. They're looking for those prime borrowers. You got lengthy paper applications you got to fill out, submit to your finance manager, or send into the bank. You're waiting days or even weeks to hear back about approval status, let alone to even get the homeowner funded and receive the money. If the homeowner gets denied, you have to repeat this process all over again with something that is called a second look and a third look, and you've got your fourth look bank, and you just keep going down the chain. And sometimes homeowners get so frustrated with that process because it can take so long that they just kind of give up, and there's so much friction that the deal just goes stale. If there's a contractor watching this that's been in the business for more than 5-10 years and has worked with financing, they've probably experienced that. Typically, customer support communication is lacking. These are very large institutions, and you're just a very, very small part of their business. And then quite often there's very large dealer fees the contractor has to pay, and very extensive business history requirements in order to qualify. And a lot of newer businesses or smaller businesses won't qualify to offer this type of financing. So this is kind of the world of old school financing. Here's what we like to call modern financing. It's 2022. I can be in Medellin, Colombia, on a call with you, Kaylin, in Utah. So it's 2022. Come on, we got to get with the times. Modern financing is going to have multiple lenders with different criteria. Every homeowner situation is a little bit different. So you need to have a financing tool that is going to enable you to support somebody from subprime all the way to prime. One simple electronic application. You shouldn't have to deal with paper. You shouldn't have to submit 20 different applications if they get denied with the first one. It should be one application in order to hear back and get offers from multiple lenders. We should be able to get approved instantly. How long, with AI technology, how long does it take to actually approve an application? It should happen instantly, within 5, 10, 30 seconds. And you should be able to get funded, get paid within 24 to 48 hours. Excellent customer support and communication. That's a must these days, especially when, as a contractor, you have revenue and business relying on your financing platform. You should be able to have communication with them when you need it. We believe in providing the most flexibility, or that not even providing, but that these days we should have flexibility in how we want to do our business. So we've got no dealer fee options available. You should have no business history requirement options available. If you're a brand new contractor and you've only been in business 1 year, you should be able to access financing and not be able to not have that tool in your tool belt for your business. You should have the ability to get paid directly as a contractor. I should have options for that. And then you should have really customized onboarding and training. If you're brand new to offering financing, there's going to be some roadblocks. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to put in the time to figure out, how do I use this new tool? And so you should have a financing partner that's going to help you with that process and train your team and support you. So these are some of the things that we think you should be looking for in a financing partner. Now, I'm not going to go through all these questions. There's a lot of questions, but if there are any contractors out here who say, hey, yeah, you know what, financing sounds like a good idea. I want to offer this. I'm going to go and do my research and talk to some companies about this. Here's the questions that we recommend that you ask. Go through a few of them. Number one, you got to know about dealer fees. Do you have to take a percentage out of your margin in order to pay to the lender to get that loan approved? That's a dealer fee. So you got to know about that before, because sometimes those dealer fees can be, in solar, for example, can be up to 25–30% of the job gets paid to the lender for funding that. So up to how much? How much control do you have over that? What's the minimum accepted credit score? That's important to know, right? Because not every homeowner that you can interact with is going to be that prime 700 plus. Is it a soft pull or a hard pull for consumer credit? That's important information for your homeowner to know, and that's going to affect how many homeowners want to actually go through with the pre-approval process. There's a couple more here that we'll touch on. How many lenders are available in the program? How much customizability and flexibility do I have? How long does it take to get approved, get funded? These are some of the important questions that we believe you should be considering and asking before partnering up with a financing company. Cool. And not all financing companies are created equally as well. So there's a lot of companies out there. You've probably heard of some of the big ones. We've looked into all of them. We're familiar with all of them. And this slide, I really just want you to look at some of the differences here in terms of like number of lenders, right? Like there's all over the place. FICO score minimums, credit score minimums, loan amounts, loan limits. So these are some things that you just need to be aware of as you're going out and shopping financing platforms. Make sure you understand what an apples to apples comparison is. All right, Caitlin, do you have any questions? Did I go over that? Should I go over anything any deeper? All making sense?
No, I think that was perfect. It was kind of interesting to see how much they vary. Like I would think that they'd be, I don't know, closer in my mind for some reason. I don't know, just in the world of competing and things like that, I would think that they'd be a little bit closer trying to beat each other's rates, but it varies so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of variance, and there's some reasons for that. It primarily comes down to the type of lenders and the type of financing programs. So there's something called consumer loans or consumer lending, which is essentially like personal loans, right? Anybody can go and get a personal loan. It's a cash payment, and a lot of the big financing platforms out there these days will just do all consumer lending, where the homeowner gets paid directly, and then it's a cash deal for the contractor. And then there's a whole world of merchant lending and merchant programs. And so on our platform, we combine both of those together. That's one of the reasons why we're able to get so many lenders, whereas most platforms will just focus on one or the other for simplicity. So that's kind of the big reason why there's so much variance there.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about sales strategies. So we've worked with a lot of contractors that have really great sales processes and great sales systems, and then we've worked with a lot of contractors that are new or just starting out, or just plain don't have good sales processes and sales strategies. So we've learned a few things about the sales process. So here's what the contractors that are most successful with financing do. They don't sell on price. They sell on monthly payments. So what does that mean exactly? Well, typical contractor is going to go in and they're going to do an estimate. Maybe let's call it a roofer. They're going to do an inspection. They're going to build out their estimate. They're going to provide that homeowner with a quote. Let's call it $15,000. And they're going to say, would you like to do it? Maybe the insurance can cover a portion of your roof or all of it, but in this case, unfortunately not. So it's going to be a cash payment. Would you like to do it? That's what selling on price would look like. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's going to be $15,000 for your new roof. What this does is it creates massive sticker shock for that homeowner, right? For all those reasons we talked about before, the average homeowner doesn't have a whole lot of cash in their savings account right now, or a whole lot left over at the end of the month. It's hard to budget for these big expenses. Hard to fit $15,000 up front into your monthly budget, especially if you just spring a roof leak or your air conditioner goes out and you're not expecting it. And then it really motivates the homeowner to price shop to find the best quote, because it kind of hurts up front, right? It's quite a bit of money for the average person. So the motivation to go out and find the best price and see if they can find something that's even a little bit cheaper to make it hurt a little bit less is going to be there. So this is kind of what we see most contractors doing, especially the ones that aren't that savvy with financing. Now,
I don't remember if it was you or someone else I was talking to, but they made a good point on this, that like going off that the sticker shock, you say, you know, the $15,000 or whatever it is. If someone told me that, I would definitely have sticker shock, especially because I've never had to have my roof replaced or get a new roof or whatever. So I'm like, holy crap, what? Are you kidding? And like you said, it motivates me to go out and try and find someone better. But then I like go out and see that like everyone else is like right around that same price range. And I end up going with the most recent person I talked to or the next person I talked to, just because I had already, you know, had that sticker shock from the first company and I moved on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you nailed it. And, you know, for most of us, home services aren't the most exciting purchases, right? Most homeowners aren't like, I just can't wait to get my roof replaced and spend $15,000 on that. So yeah, it can create sticker shock. And the situation that you want to avoid is where if you're the first person, you don't want them to go out and talk to 5 more people, because they're going to forget about you.
Yeah.
Just like you said, right? So we want to be the one who either has the best offer, the most flexibility, or we want to be ideally the last person that they need to talk to. So how can we create a situation where we're the last person that they want to talk to, because we're able to serve that person's needs completely. So how we see contractors do that is, instead of it's going to be $15,000, Mr. Homeowner, say the quote for your roof, air conditioner, kitchen heater, whatever it is only going to be $162 per month. Or if you're interested in paying cash up front, we can offer you a 5% discount or 7% discount or whatever. We'll talk a little bit about why, if you end up choosing to work with us, how you can discount a customer without that affecting your margin. But what this does is it eliminates sticker shock, and it gives them a bite-sized payment they can budget. Like right away, $162 a month, I can fit that into my budget. I don't like it, but hey, it's better than having my roof leaking into my living room. It eliminates the need to price shop to save significant money up front, right? When you position it in that way, it's more digestible, and there's not as much pain for that homeowner. I need to get this down and see if I can get a cheaper deal. This is just too much. And then it really gives you a competitive advantage over maybe your more old school competitors who aren't on this live right now, who are just going to be selling based on price. How's that all sound, Kaylin?
That sounds great.
Much better
yes.
than 15,000.
Much better. I'm feeling a lot more confident in spending money on getting my roof replaced. Nice. For sure.
Kaylin's like, I want to replace my roof now.
Yes, for sure.
Right on. Cool. So if there is anybody in the live, I don't know if we've had any questions come in. Happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I can keep it rolling because we got something special for anybody on the call.
We have one comment. It's not necessarily a question. I'd say it's Dewin Bainey. He said, valuable questions around what to ask when searching for financing, which I know we kind of went over that.
Oh yeah, we touched on that a little bit.
Yeah. So
gotcha. Cool. Glad you like those questions.
Yeah.
Feel free to use them when you're searching for financing. All right, let's keep it rolling. So if you've been on this webinar today, I hope that you learned something. I hope that this was valuable information for you. If you're not offering financing, I hope that you strongly consider doing it and you get out there and you use those questions. If you are interested in learning more about home service financing and what we do, we've got a bit of a special offer for you today. So I'll take a couple minutes and run through that. And then we'll get into what I call the 100K in 90 days challenge. So at Home Service Financing, we've got over 300 lenders with one simple application form. It takes less than 5 minutes, and you can get instant pre-approvals for your homeowner. There's no waiting to know if they can qualify for financing. They will literally see a screen that shows them all of the offers that they qualify for, and they can select the best offer from over 300 lenders. We've got a simple, streamlined, hassle-free process. You don't have to be a financing expert to guide your homeowners. I think, to be honest, it's one of the reasons why maybe a lot of contractors resist financing, is that they feel like there's so much I have to learn. I have to learn about interest rates. I have to learn about terms, all these different types of loans. It's really not the case. It can be super simple to offer financing.
I love that you pointed that out, because as I've been thinking about it, I would think the same. It seems like a lot that you've got to take on and figure out, and like all this new stuff, and change is not easy for anyone. But
No,
it like just
totally.
as you've talked about it, it's so simple, and you guys make it so easy for literally anyone.
Yeah, 100%. And our team is there every step of the way, which we've talked about on this page. But we have approvals for credit scores as low as 400. So from subprime all the way up to prime, we've got lenders that will give those types of consumers offers. We've got all the specialty offers for those that qualify, like 0% financing or same as cash. We'll finance as little as $1,000 up to $100,000. Get paid within 1 or 2 business days. Soft pull only for homeowners to view offers. It's not a hard pull. It won't affect their credit score. We provide all of our contractors with whatever marketing materials and sales tools that they need, education, training, onboarding, specialized support. We have a great support team that takes care of everybody. So that is what we do. Now, normally our price point is $1,000 onboarding fee to get you and your team trained, and $147 per month. So if somebody were to come to us off of Google or wherever and want to work with us, this is what the normal price would be. And I guess the question I want to ask you is, can you see that if all you did was close one deal in this year, that it would pay for the program for the next 12, even 24 months, even at the full price? But because we're great friends with Jill's office, we don't want to charge you the full price. We want to do something special just to get you into the platform, because we really believe in what we're doing. So we're waiving, for anybody from this webinar, we're waiving the onboarding fee. We'll do a 30-day free trial, and then long-term, that rate is just $99 a month ongoing. So more than $1,500 savings for that first year for anybody that's interested from this webinar. Onboarding is typically, we'll do a 30 to 45-minute call with one of our team members. They'll train you, they'll get your account set up, they'll train your team. We can set up subsequent onboarding calls. If you've got a large team, we'll train your sales reps, we'll answer their questions, we'll make sure that they're equipped and ready to go out and offer this in every single sales interaction they have. And then we'll provide ongoing support as well. So if you are interested in this offer, all you have to do is go to homeservicefinancing.com and click Get Started. And you can speak with one of our team members, let them know that you saw the Jill's Office webinar, and we'll be sure to give you that awesome deal. Cool. Let's talk a little bit about the extra 100K in 90 days challenge, because if you're on this call and you're a contractor and you don't currently offer financing, or maybe you're not really happy with the financing platform that you have right now, I've got a challenge for you to go out and generate an extra 100K in the next 90 days without spending another penny on marketing. And here it is. Step 1, sign up for a 30-day free trial of home service financing, absolutely risk-free. 2, go back to all of your homeowners in the last 6 months who didn't buy from you due to any kind of price objection, or they couldn't afford it, or they didn't know about financing, they couldn't qualify for it, whatever it is. Tell them that, hey, I might have another option for you. If you're interested, you can send them the easy financing link via text, via email, and they can fill it out and see. On average, we see about 10 to 30% of submitted applications get pre-approved, meaning that there's offers that they qualify for and they can choose one. This, of course, depends on the lending program. It depends on homeowners' credit, debt to income ratio, and all that. Step 4, get paid within 24 to 48 hours. And the question I want to ask is, what would it do for your business if you close just 10% more deals with financing in the next 12 months? Like, realistically, what would that do for your business? Because for most contractors that I speak with, that would be actually a big impact to their revenue. So I want to leave you guys with that question and that offer. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our team would be happy to answer them. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, lastly, you know, even if you only close one extra deal and paid for the service for the next 2 years, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? And we'll leave it at that.
That's awesome. I love everything you touched on, especially one thing that stuck out to me was that you're not only growing in like closing more sales, but you're like you said, oh, I just forgot the term. Like you're adding more onto the ticket. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're literally scaling and growing your business in two ways. And
Yeah.
that's just huge. I don't think people realize how much of a difference that can make.
Totally. You know, we didn't touch too much on that, but I think that that's actually a bigger potential impact for a company's revenue than closing more deals, right? Because if you're closing 10% more deals in a year, okay, that's going to be a big impact. But if you're able to increase your average deal value by 50% or 75%, then that's huge growth potential from the customers that you already have. And so this is an area that I see a lot of contractors kind of missing the opportunity on, is they're not offering, hey, what else could I offer to this homeowner? And if all they had to do was pay a small, simple, easy payment that they can budget, what is an extra $20 a month to that homeowner's budget? But what does that $20 a month do to the overall deal size and my ability to upsell that homeowner? So a lot of money being left on the table from a lot of contractors. So yeah, great point.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Wyra. This was very, very valuable information. If any of you, like you said, have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out to us. And to get the special deal, make sure you mention that you heard about them from Jeff Office.
Yeah.
So
thanks
sweet.
so much for having me on, Kaylin. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.